Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
All right, so Willie McCann Morgan of Tennessee has been missing since September of 2012. Okay, guys?
Whoa.
And
that's 8 years.
Yeah, he's been missing a while. And they haven't been able to find him. This is a real Dateline type story, right? Guy goes missing, there's no trace, yada, 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 they can't find him. Well, apparently they found him. And they found him thanks to social media because somebody had taken a picture of a selfie in front of their fireplace mantle where they had a skull sitting on the fireplace mantle with sunglasses. Somehow the police department in Tennessee, in Morgan County, Tennessee, got a hold of this picture and wanted to investigate if it was a real skull or not. So they got there, they did a DNA test on his cranium, and it matched Junior Willie McCann of Morgan, Tennessee, who's been missing for 12 years. Now, here's the news story, and let's see if they can add any more to it.
Skull that's been sitting on someone's fireplace mantle for over a year has now been identified as a missing Morgan County man. In a Facebook post, District Attorney General Russell Johnson said the skull is now confirmed to be that of Junior Will McCann, who's been missing since September 2012. According to Johnson, it had been sitting on an unidentified person's mantle, sporting sunglasses. Now, we're told the Morgan County Sheriff's Office retrieved the skull after being told about it. Now, the Morgan County Sheriff's Office is asking the public for help in learning more about what happened to McCann.
Like how did you end up with the skull on your fireplace mantle would be the first question that I asked.
I looked into this a little bit more. He said he found it on a piece of property adjacent to his.
Okay. You find the human skull.
Decided to clean it up, bring it in, and put some sunglasses on.
That'll make a good conversation piece. Let's slap some Ray-Bans on it.
What the hell, dude? Like, if you walked into somebody's house and they had a skull sitting on their, fireplace mantle or anywhere with sunglasses on,
Billy Bob,
turn around and walk back out, I think.
What's the deal with the skull on your fireplace? I just found it next door. That piece of property, we were just walking through there and I saw the skull and I said, oh, that looked good on the fireplace mantle. Let's get some Ray-Bans on it. Wow. That is quite amazing. This happens to my father-in-law sometimes. He has a big ranch. Okay, he has got a lot of property.
Oh, Mike, up in Northern California?
Yeah, but it is on Native American land, and the Oregon Trail ran through his property.
Which Lewis and Clark went through, correct? Is that Lewis and Clark?
Yeah, they didn't go through that part of it, but there's different parts of the Oregon Trail. And this part of the Oregon Trail was a southernmost swath of the Oregon Trail. Okay. But it was still a swath of the Oregon Trail. So a lot of people would go through there. And there are stories of on his property, like he's taken me by a tree before and been like, hey, over there, I guess a little boy died because we had the family of the little boy come out and they did like a camp out, like a decade ago. And they did a camp out of the little boy that died of like malaria and they buried him
like a long time ago
next to the tree. Yeah, at the turn of the century.
And the family is still coming out.
The turn of the 20th century, so the 1900s. Yeah, no.
And the family still comes out and by this tree. Are they sure they still have the right tree? Because did they mark the tree?
Yeah, the tree's marked.
Oh, okay.
The tree's marked.
So, it could be that one over there. Let's just say it's this one.
That's where he has his campground too on his property. It's a good spot for a campground.
I feel terrible. I have all kinds of relatives, including my father who died. I haven't seen and gone to their grave in decades.
No. I mean, these
guys
showed
are coming
up like a decade ago, and it was weird because I said, well, how did they come up to it? They said, hey, there was a boy that died here. He's like, the great-great-great-grandson of our family, and we thought, we'd pay tribute. We'd have a camp.
What did they do, knock on his door?
Yeah.
Said, hey, we need to get on your property.
Do you mind if we camp on your property for the weekend? He's like, sure, go ahead.
But now we're not talking about, in the backyard, right? We're talking, he's got acres and acres, so it's
probably a half mile away.
Oh, so you can't even probably see where they camp.
You can with binoculars. Oh, because it's on the other end of the valley.
Did he spy on him?
No.
See if there's anything weird stuff
here's the thing.
Could have been a seance. You don't know.
When you got people on your property, you kind of want to keep somewhat of the tabs on them. Like, what are they doing here? What is their intention?
So weird.
But sometimes, because he has to turn over his soil quite a bit because he's a rancher and he's a farmer and he farms crops out in a big part of the field, they'll find what he thinks are remnants of bodies because it was a big... Is it a big region? This is the river. The river is called the Pit River, and the reason why they call it the Pit River
threw all the bodies in there.
The cowboys would fall into the pits of the Pit River, and then the Native Americans would win the battles in this area because the cowboys' horses did not know. The Pit River is the strangest river because cuts right through a field. And you don't see it. So if you're riding your horse fast enough, your horse is going to fall down right into it.
So their idea was to chase the cowboys to this Pit River.
Yes.
And they would just fall in almost like a trap.
Yes.
I see. Wow, pretty interesting stuff. That's a good story.
So there's a lot of bones in the area.
A lot of cowboy bones.
Them bones. So whenever he finds them, he doesn't tell anybody about them because if he does, then he has to shut down his land.
Oh, they'll bring everybody out. Yeah, they could be there for months.
Yes.
Doing an arc dig.
And you can't plant any alfalfa, you can't plant any hay, you can't do it.
Because the river goes right through his alfalfa?
Well, no, because they're out there investigating. So they take up a bunch of ground, these archaeologists come out there. They have to
I've never been more curious about wanting to go to your father-in-law's
It's really a boring place, to be honest with you.
I think I might find it more interesting than you think.
But it is, that aspect
Especially
of it.
if we could find bones.
That aspect of it is very interesting. A lot of arrowheads. A lot of, what is that? What is that black rock? Is it basalt?
Charcoal?
No, not charcoal.
I don't know. Basalt?
Basalt. Okay. It's very interesting land. But
that black rock.
Whenever he finds anything that looks like a bone, he says, oh, that's probably just a deer bone. And then he throws it away. He doesn't put it on his mantle. If you put it on his mantle, that would be problematic because then you might have to shut down your fields.
I'm sure nobody's walked into somebody's house and found, just bones of something.
A human skull?
Especially human.
Just prominently displayed on the
That
mantle?
is just so weird. I know I've been to friends' houses before and they're into weird stuff. Like some have martial arts swords all over the walls. And
I don't think the human skull is something.
But that's nothing compared to just some guy. And they put sunglasses on it.
Yep. That's not very wise. He's got to be suspect number one, right?
Well, yeah.
Even though he says,
I don't think he is. I think he's just a weirdo.
He says he found it over there. I still think that he's got to be suspect number one. Because that's almost like a trophy, right? Why would you put the skull just because you found it up on the? And at what point were you like, oh, I wonder? At some point in time, it had to cross your mind. They're like, man, I wonder if that's somebody's, somebody missing recently. It wasn't just an artifact of days gone by. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe Tennessee's a lot like my father-in-law's area. I have no idea.
I watch a lot of Dateline. I watch 20/20, 48 Hours. If I find anything suspicious, I call it in. I don't call 911. I just look up the local authorities. Hey, you could need to come check this out.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Think of all the people that are missing, or that are like, is it Elizabeth Smart?
What about Elizabeth Smart?
Is that the one here? I forget her name.
Kristen.
Sorry, Elizabeth Smart was somebody else.
Yes, they found Elizabeth.
Yeah, they found her. She got away. Kristen Smart. Just think if more people would have, maybe somebody saw us, maybe they didn't, but we're still trying to solve that case today. Yesterday I got a complaint after the show. Somebody said, hey, can you stop talking politics? Please, whatever you do. And I'm like, well, what were we talking politics about? Well, it was the guy that got drunk and started up the backhoe and decided to go take out some Joe Biden signs. And then I said I saw my first Trump sign with razor wire over it. So
I think
this is just the world we live in right now.
I don't know how political that was. We were making fun of a guy for driving through his neighbor's house with a backhoe and then wondering if he had casted his vote yet. Because if he hadn't casted his vote yet, he's going to be in the pokey. And chances are his vote's going to go uncounted. So chalk one up. That's a small victory for
you
Joe
have
Biden.
To find the positives in everything, especially since it is very politically negative, and that's just how it is every election. It seems like.
This is why I'm all in on sports.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers last night, wrapping it up in 6 games, and we get to celebrate today. Now, remember, yesterday we were talking about the Lakers, and they're the reason why the coronavirus outbreak is...
well, that was your theory.
No, that's what health officials in Los Angeles were
that's
saying.
right. You were delivering the news.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
just saying, I know it's not my theory at all.
Jeff is the news.
But
Jeff is the news. You're right.
Now,
he is the news.
Now we have to worry about the double up because the Dodgers won the World Series last night. So there were celebrations last night in Los Angeles.
Well,
there were watch parties last night in Los Angeles.
Did you hear about Justin Turner, the third baseman for the Dodgers? Yeah, during the game, I think the 6th inning, they got his test results back for that night. I don't know why it took that long. He had COVID. They yanked him out of the game in the 7th. But then afterwards, I saw pictures of Justin Turner
celebrating
with a face mask on, just like this crappy paper one I have right here, which we were told doesn't prevent the spread. It's
90% effective in preventing the spread.
Oh, 90.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. So anyways,
not 100, but a 90.
But it wasn't this fancy black one either. It was a blue one like you get at Costco. I don't know if that might be like 87. I don't have hard numbers on the Costco mask.
According to Duke University.
But anyways, yeah, he's out there running around. He's got the trophy and everything. And now who's to say? We've heard that people test positive.
I didn't watch the game last night. I was busy doing other things.
I didn't either. I saw all this morning.
Justin Turner tested positive during the game.
Well, his test results came back.
It came back, and they're like, "Oh, Justin, you got to sit this one out. You got coronavirus." Right. So hold on a second. They won the World Series, but they all could be getting sick because they've been in the
That was all over the news this morning, and I thought, just calm down. All right, I'm here we're not fear-mongering, all right? Hold on a second. We got somebody on the line here. Hi, what's your name?
Ben, I talked to you guys a little earlier about the food.
Yeah, hey, Ben.
I was calling I was listening yesterday, and this is actually what made me come back, is the funny story about the backhoe with the Trump sign.
Thank you.
Oh, you like that? Okay, good.
Yeah, that was funny. I was laughing my ass off.
Well, we didn't make it up. I mean, it was just a story, but still.
It's life. All we have to do is deliver life, and it makes you laugh your ass off.
If you can't laugh at people, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Are you going, Ben?
Exactly.
Ben, are you going to go to Taco Bell today because Mookie Betts stole a base in the first game of the World Series, and they're giving away free tacos today? No questions asked, no charge. You don't have to buy anything else. You just walk in, be like, Doritos Locos Taco, please. Mookie Betts.
Or drive-through because of COVID.
It's on Mookie Betts, and then they give you a taco. Are you going to go take advantage of that deal today?
Well, I go to Taco Bell almost every day, so probably.
Perfect.
You know what, though? You have to have the Doritos Locos Taco.
What's wrong with that?
Gross.
I think it's fine. I think it's an excellent taco.
I want a regular, beefy, crunchy taco.
Thank you, Cameron. It is a work of art.
It's a what?
He says it's a work of art.
It's a Dorito!
Free food.
Yeah.
What was that, Ben?
Free food is free food.
It's free food. Yeah, exactly. And it's like we were having a discussion off air yesterday about the Jack in the Box tacos. Jeremy and I are big fans of them, but I will say, and Cameron is not. But
they're disgusting.
Yeah, he doesn't like them. And they're with lettuce, they're
he's disgusting. A punk kid. What does he know?
With lettuce, you're right. They are absolutely.
I know the Doritos Locos Tacos is better than any taco inside Jack in the Box.
Yes, I agree with you.
You are so wrong.
I agree with you.
You are so wrong.
100%.
They don't deep fry the taco at Taco Bell, okay? They take the taco and they throw it in the deep fryer at Jack in the Box. It's dripping with grease and it's amazing.
Thank you, Mookie Betts, for making it so I don't have to get two tacos for $1.19 through the drive-thru today at Jack in the Box. I could just get one good taco.
You know what? Here's the problem.
At Taco Bell.
I've tried this damn Dorito taco twice, guys, and both times the shell was stale, and I didn't like it because the shell was stale.
Well, today you're getting the oldest of the shells too. You're not going to get
exactly. They're giving out all the crap.
Yeah.
So
it's like I'm convinced.
Maybe it was fresh, it would be better. But I was like, oh, this is like chewy. It's gross.
There was one restaurant, I forget which one it was, and I'd always order off. I think it was Jack in the Box. I'd always order off the value menu. So I'd order like the chicken sandwich off the value menu or something like that because really I don't want to spend $5 for a chicken sandwich when I can have a chicken sandwich for $1.40. But I was convinced that they used the stale bread on the value menu and then the fresh bread on the real on like the $4.
Where was this at again?
I forget. I don't want to. I think it was Jack in the Box,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. So I remember just thinking, well, I'm never going.
I didn't even know they had a $1 chicken sandwich.
Well, this was a while.
It makes you feel terrible.
It was a long time ago. And it may have been Carl's Jr., to be honest with you. I don't know. And it was a long time ago from that aspect, too.
So
I'm just saying that, you get what you pay for. So when you go into the Doritos Locos Taco today on Mookie Betts, just know that you might get the Jeremy
let me ask you this.
Stale version of
what is the
show.
best $1 chicken sandwich you've ever had? Mine would be the McChicken at McDonald's with extra mayo.
No, the spicy, and I don't think they have it anymore.
Well, they had a spicy chicken one at McDonald's for a while.
I don't think they have it anymore, but there was a spicy chicken sandwich at Carl's Jr. that was bomb.
And it was $1.
Yeah. Or in that area, like $1.20, something like that.
Okay. What about you?
I don't think anything's $1 anymore.
Mr. Fast Food Connoisseur?
I think I'm going to be with you on this one, Jeremy. I like the McChicken, but I get like a ketchup packet and I mix it in with the mayo because I'm not a...
Let me tell you something, son. I've been pooping McDonald's chicken sandwiches longer than you've been alive.
That's true.
Okay?
Let me ask you a question today.
Pooping them out.
Today,
That's how many I've had.
When you go get your free Doritos Locos Taco from your neighborhood Taco Bell, Cameron, are you going to bring it home and spruce it up with some bacon-wrapped asparagus?
Yeah, chop it up. Put it in.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.